Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jana Vallabha Girivala Radhe Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivala Radhe Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari It's a little loud. Jam Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivadikacharya Ashtotra Shota Shisham His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivadikacharya Ashtotra Shota Shisham His Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the Summa devotees, all glories to the Summa devotees, all glories to the Summa devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. So before we read the Bhagavatam, it is the disappearance of a few devotees, Vaishnavacharya devotees, great devotees. So first we'll read about Dhananjay Pandit. I don't know, it depends on the audience. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat describes Dhananjay Pandit as Vilaksana Mahanta, having all the characteristics of a great personality. He took part in Lord Gaurachandra's Navadvip Kirtan pastimes before moving to Vrindavan on Mahaprabhu's order. Carrying only Kamandalu, but remaining absorbed in love of Sri Krishna and Sri Chaitanya, he traveled widely and preached. He established deities of Gauranitai, Sri Gopinath, and Damodar. In Vraj Leela, he is Vasudama, one of Lord Balaram's Dasa Gopals. His samadhi is in the 64 samadhis area. So next personality is Sri Gadadhar Das Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has basically two groups of associates. One group, such as the Dwasa Dasa Gopals, Abhiram Gopal, Gauridas Pandit, Dhananjay and others, serve Sri Nityananda Prabhu in the mood of Sakya Ras, friendship. The second group always stay merged in the mellow of Madhurya Ras, conjugal love. Sri Gadadhar Goswami is a united form of Chandra Kanti Gopi, an expansion of Radharani's effulgence, and Purnananda, an expansion of Lord Balaram's dear girlfriend. Thus, Gadadhar Das was an associate of both Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes Lord Chaitanya as Radha Bhava Duti Suvalita, characterized by the motions and bodily luster of Srimati Radharani. Gadadhar Das is this duty luster. Gadadhar Das is sometimes called the personification of Sri Radhika's divine effulgence. While traveling with Lord Nityananda, Gadadhar would sometimes become absorbed in Madhurya Prem and begin acting and speaking like a Vraj Gopi. Putting a clay pot of Ganges water on his head as if he were a gopi, he would call out, "Who wants to buy milk? Who wants to buy yogurt?" As one of Lord Nityananda's chief preachers in Bengal, Gadadhar Das delivered countless sinners, atheists, and yavanas. Once, while tasting Krishna Prem, he began dancing madly and chanting Krishna's holy names outside the Qazi's mansion. The irate Muslim magistrate stormed out of his house to chastise him for disturbing the peace. But beholding the dazzling, attractive form of Gadadhar Das, the Qazi became stunned and dropped his anger. Gadadhar affectionately embraced the Qazi and said, "Gaur Nityananda have appeared to deliver everyone with divine love by distributing the sweet nectar of the holy name of Hari. Why don't you chant this sweet name of Hari?" "Tomorrow I shall chant the name of Hari," replied the Qazi. Hearing the Qazi inadvertently chant the holy name filled Gadadhar with happiness. He said, "Why tomorrow? You have already chanted today, and this powerful name of Hari will destroy your sins and purify your existence." From that day on, the Qazi took shelter of Sri Gadadhar Das Goswami. His samadhi is in the 64 samadhis. All right, the last personality is Srinivasacharya. After witnessing Lord Gauranga's sannyas ceremony at Katwa, Chaitanya Das and his pregnant wife visited Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. "Soon your wife will give birth to a son named Srinivas," said Lord Chaitanya. "And through Srinivas, all the bhakti shastras of Rupa and Sanatana will be distributed." When his father left this world, Srinivas visited the remaining associates of Lord Gauranga in Katwa, Navadvip, and Jagannath Puri. They blessed Srinivas and gave him valuable instructions for spiritual advancement. Seeing his absorption in Gauranga Prem, they knew he was an embodiment of Gaura Shakti, the energy of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He came to Vrindavan, toured the 12 forests, and took Diksha from Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Sri Jiva Goswami taught him the complete philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Acknowledging his vast learning, Sri Jiva gave Srinivas the title Acharya. Accepting Sri Jiva's order, Srinivas and his two friends, Shyamananda Prabhu and Narottam Das Thakur, pioneered the first transcendental book distribution party. So it's not that mundane after all, huh? Book distribution. Because sometimes people, they criticize book distribution, maybe not so directly, but indirectly. They say, "Oh, it's just about making money and all these things." But Prabhupada knew very well that how to engage us, and he knew our states of mind and what we needed. And it wasn't just, distributing books so we could build temples and make money. That's there, fine. But it's engaging us in distributing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy in the form of transcendental knowledge. Because the intelligent class of people need transcendental knowledge in order to be convinced to surrender to Krishna. So therefore books, and therefore book distribution. And Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Prabhu, and Srinivasacharya are the first to do that with the Goswami's literatures. Shyamananda Prabhu. Vrajbasi Sankirtan Party Ki Jai. They took a bullock cart of the Goswami's devotional writings from Vrindavan and passed them out all over Bengal and Orissa. Srinivasacharya initiated many disciples, Ramchandra Kaviraj and others, wrote songs full of bhakti, Sad Goswami Ashtakam, and introduced a special kirtan style. When leading kirtan, he would sometimes lose his voice from chanting so long. Besides his external activities of preaching and writing, Srinivasacharya practiced intensive Raganuga bhajan. So when it says external, because there's like, sometimes we have the external energy, right? It's like Maya. And then we have like our external activities, and then we have our internal activities. So sometimes we may take that external means less important and internal means more important. But actually they're both important. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, his external reason was to give mercy, right? And is that not important? That is extremely important, or else we'd be in trouble. And his internal reason was to relish the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani. So they're both important. Not that it says here that his activities are preaching and writing, and then his Raganuga Bhajan, right? That's internal. So they're both important. Raganuga Bhajan is the spontaneous internal worship of Radha and Krishna based on the mood and sentiments of the eternal residents of Sri Vrindavan Dham, such as the gopis. While doing Manasi Seva, service to Radha Krishna within one's mind in a mentally conceived spiritual form, he would often set Lord Gauranga on a jeweled throne within his mind. Then he worshipped the Lord with a golden-handled chamara whisk and a 5-flower garland. Pleased with his service, Gora Roy, Lord Chaitanya offered the garland back to Srinivas, who then immediately awoke and lost the meditation. A surprised Srinivas found the sweetest flower garland he ever smelled hanging around his neck when he returned to external consciousness. Another time, Srinivas was in his Siddha Sarup as Mani Manjari, watching Srimati Radharani, Sri Krishna and the gopis in holy Leela, joyfully throwing colored powders and dyes on each other. The gopis told Mani Manjari to supply colors to Radhika and side with them in their war against Sham. The earth shook from their furious battle. Srinivas's meditation abruptly broke. His body was completely covered from head to toe with fragrant and exotic rainbow-colored powders imported from the spiritual world. Holy Leela Ki Jai. Srinivasacharya Samadhi is in Dira Samira Samadhi's area. It's pretty powerful meditation there. Wake up from the meditation, you have dye all over you. Alright, so read the Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is Bhagavatam, Canto 4, entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha, and we're on text 59. Tam eva dayitam bhuya avirte patim ambika ananya bhavikai gatim shakti supteva purusham tam eva dayitam bhuya avirte patim ambika ananya bhavikai gatim shakti supteva purusham. Chant.
Tameva daitam bhuya avrinte patim ambika ananya bhavaikatim shakti suteva purusham tameva daitam bhuya avrinte patim ambika ananya bhavaikatim
Tam, him, Lord Shiva. Eva, certainly. Daitam, beloved. Bhuyaha, again. Avirte, accepted. Patim, as her husband. Ambika, or Sati. Sati. Ananyabhava, without attachment for others. Ekagatim, the one goal. Shaktihi, the feminine, marginal and external energies. Supta, lying dormant. Eva, as. Purusham, the masculine. Lord Shiva as the representative of the Supreme Lord. Translation. Ambika, goddess Durga, who was known as Dakshayani Sati, again accepted Lord Shiva as her husband, just as different energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead act during the course of a new creation. Purport. According to a verse of the Vedic mantras, Parasya Shakti Vivadaiva Shuryate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has different varieties of energies. Shakti is feminine, and the Lord is Purusha, masculine. It is the duty of the female to serve under the Supreme Purusha. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, all living entities are marginal energies of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it is the duty of all living entities to serve this Supreme Person. Durga is the representation in the material world of both the marginal and external energies, and Lord Shiva is the representation of the Supreme Person. The connection of Lord Shiva and Ambika, or Durga, is eternal. Sati could not accept any husband but Lord Shiva. How Lord Shiva remarried Durga as Himavati, the daughter of the Himalayas, and how Kartikeya was born is a great story in itself. Prabhupada had a disciple, right? Himavati? Prabhupada had a disciple? Yes. That was, Hamsaduda's wife. Whatever happened to her? No one's heard about her, huh? So I'll read the next two. Etad Bhagavata Shambho Karma Dakshadva Radruha Shutam Bhagavatach Tishyad Udavan Me Prahaspate. Maitreya said, My dear Vidura, I heard this story of the Daksha Yagya, which was devastated by Lord Shiva from Uddhava, a great devotee and a disciple of Brihaspati. The last verse of the chapter. The great sage Maitreya concluded, if one hears and again narrates with faith and devotion this story of the Daksha Yaga as it was conducted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, then certainly one is cleared of all contamination of material existence, O son of Kuru. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 7th chapter of the srimadbhagavatam entitled The Sacrifice Performed by Daksha. So chapter 8 tomorrow. Om Ganadavanandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshulanmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Kadidavachalam Pangam Langate Gadim Yakripatamaham Vande Shri Gurundiritanam Vancha Kapadubhishcha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So if one doesn't learn how to be successful, enthusiastic, then they actually will fail in life in all regards. Here we're hearing about the supreme male and the supreme female or feminine masculine, and in this world it is a distorted reflection. So we could learn from, as below, as above, so as below. So at least from a traditional Vedic point of view, that in a relationship between a woman and a man of marriage, then the husband is very enthusiastic to serve the wife, and the wife is very enthusiastic to serve the husband, vice versa. They have a particular thing they created, which I don't know if people use anymore. I've never seen one, but everybody's sitting around the table, and then there's a circular flat platform on the table, and it spins around. So you put the preps there, and you spin it around, and then people could take the preps. And you have some sour cream and some potatoes and whatever, different preps, salad. And they call that Lazy Susan. So Lazy Susan. So that means Susan's too lazy to serve everybody, so you have the Lazy Susan. You do it yourself. So, yeah, from a Vedic or a traditional point of view, the woman's very enthusiastic to serve the husband in different ways. Cooking and all different types of ways. Cleaning, and I'm just laughing because this isn't very popular nowadays. People don't like this idea. So if we don't learn how to become enthusiastic in our particular situation that we find ourselves in, social position, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, then we're actually a failure. Because enthusiasm is the very thing that is the very thing that keeps everything moving. Without enthusiasm, everything falls apart. I was at Tirtha Maharaj's sannyas initiation in 2016 in Salem, South India, and Bhakti Vikas Swami was obviously there, and so we got the opportunity to meet with him a little bit and take a tour of his of the temple property there that he's overlooking. And recently I saw him in North Carolina, and I was telling him, I got to speak with him a few minutes, I was telling him that, oh Maharaj, I really felt, I had a special experience there in Salem. I really felt the presence of Srila Prabhupada. And he was smiling and he said, oh, that's, thank you, and that's nice. And he said, but you also feel the presence of Prabhupada here, right, in SanDiego at the temple. I said, that's true. And then we started talking about that, and the idea of familiarity breeds contempt, right? You become familiar with something and it's just ordinary, and you take it for granted. You don't see the value of it. So of course we do feel Prabhupada's presence here, but I did have a special experience. I think because Maharaj was there too. I don't know. Bhakti Vikas Swami was there at Salem. Yeah, this was at Tirtha Maharaj's sannyas. So, so I felt that Srila Prabhupada's presence quite strongly there, and I felt that was due to the devotees, their enthusiasm and their dedication and their just one-pointed focus. That's what I felt. And that is all due to enthusiasm. I mean, practically speaking, that is due to enthusiasm, the enthusiasm of Maharaj, the enthusiasm of the devotees. So, yeah, if we don't have this enthusiasm, I mean, we're really just, I don't know what you say, like a bum or a loser or a complete Kali Yugite, if we don't have this enthusiasm of Krishna consciousness. And Bhakti Vikas Swami was mentioning about Dravida Prabhu when we were talking, and he said, oh, you're very lucky to have him there, because he attends the morning program every day without fail. And not only does he attend the morning program, he's very enthusiastic about it. And I was just thinking, in many ways, if he wasn't around, then things just wouldn't get done. It would fall apart. Someone's got to put the water in the fountain, they got to turn the fountain on, they got to turn the fountain off, they have to, set up for class, all these things. So, not that I'm anybody special, I don't think that. But just as a matter of training, as a matter of etiquette, it's like if somebody's scheduled to give a class, and class givers will, if anybody starts giving class, they'll have this. They may have this experience that, for example, so many times here it takes forever to set up for the class. Not forever, but it takes too long, in my opinion. And I'm just thinking that how does that how does that translate? Does that translate into everybody's enthusiastic to hear the class? No. Translates like, okay, well, I guess we'll get around to this, setting up for class. Maybe devotees are enthusiastic, I don't know, but it doesn't translate like that. And if there was some special guest here, like some Swami or, someone like that, and we're taking so long to set it for class, I mean, that's not very kind of us also. I mean, if I was some special guest, some Swami, and I was standing there, or not a Swami or whatever, and I was standing there and like everybody's just taking so long to set up for class, like, maybe I should just go home, maybe I should just go back to my place. I mean, I feel like that too. Maybe I should just go upstairs, it's just, no one wants to. So, just as a matter of, even if we're not enthusiastic, we should just act enthusiastic, because that's how we get purified. And therefore I was saying Dravida Prabhu, because the class wasn't, because we devotees, they go off. I know they have stuff to do, but they go off into the kitchen or go here, and all over the place, and then the class is just very slow to get started. And if we're like that, then we're actually not going to make much tangible advancement, and most likely we'll give up in Krishna consciousness to a large degree. Because this is a small thing, but small things grow, just like diseases, they grow. And also, I mean, when class is over, it's like last man sitting gets the check, You know that saying? Zach, you know that saying? I know you're very interested in your arm right now, but last man gets the check. That whoever's last person there, everybody just gets up and runs off. Like yesterday, Dravida Prabhu, he gave class, for God's sake. He's Prabhupada disciple and senior devotee and brahmachari, and he had to carry their own seat back because everybody took off. So these are all small things, but you this small thing, that small thing, and it all adds up, and then it's just not good. So therefore, we need that enthusiasm, and Krishna has enthusiasm to serve his devotees, and the devotees have enthusiasm to serve Krishna, and the devotees have enthusiasm to serve each other. So really, when it comes down to it, if our duty is to pick up the Vyasa-san and move it, or if our duty is to set up the mic, I mean, how many times has a mic not been set up in class? It's just so slow. Or whatever the case is, if our duty is to do that, then we should be very enthusiastic about it. And this is how we actually make advancement, if we're enthusiastic. And if we're not enthusiastic, I mean, a terrible cook is one who's not enthusiastic to cook. A terrible book distributor is one who's not enthusiastic to distribute books. A terrible husband is not one who's enthusiastic to be a husband, and on and on and on. So we have to try to work on our enthusiasm. Or else, we completely fulfill the predictions of the Bhagavatam. Manda sumanda matyo manda bhyaga upadrataha. We become, bad, lazy, unfortunate, misguided, and always disturbed. So that's the description, that's a prediction of Kali Yuga. But we're actually not supposed to be like that, because we're not supposed to be, sinking in the ocean of Kali Yuga. We're supposed to be above it. Or like the brahmacharis, right? It says the brahmacharis will be unclean in Kali Yuga. We're not supposed to fulfill those predictions. Not like, oh, Prabhu, why is the ashram so dirty? Oh, well, the Bhagavatam says the brahmacharis will be unclean, so I'm just helping fulfill the prediction of the Bhagavatam. So yeah, if we want to please Krishna, if we want to please devotees, if we want to engage in preaching mission, if we want to be successful devotees, then we have to be enthusiastic. and every stage of the day, right? We're enthusiastic to wake up. We're enthusiastic to put on our tilak, right? We're enthusiastic to do everything. To come to the morning program, to help out with whatever, turning on the fountain, turning off the fountain, getting the mats, getting the vyasa on. These are all small things, but getting the prasadam, I don't know, just be enthusiastic. And what thing? Oh, really? Sometimes it's plugged in, huh? Okay. So yeah, Krishna likes people who are enthusiastic. I mean, you go back to the spiritual world, and everybody's enthusiastic there. You can't not be enthusiastic. And if you're not enthusiastic, don't get into the spiritual world. You're not there. Because everybody has enthusiasm, but yeah, they have enthusiasm for something, and it may not be serving Krishna. It may be whatever, I don't know, gratifying their tongue, or gratifying their eyes, or making money, or whatever it is. But everybody's enthusiastic. So if we're not enthusiastic full on for Krishna, then yeah, we don't really make it there, because it's not a place for people who aren't enthusiastic. So therefore, the Gayatri mantras that those who are second initiated chant, it's prayers, it's meditation on Krishna, the spiritual master, Lord Chaitanya, and specifically, it's about enthusiasm. Please enthuse me, please enthuse me, please enthuse me. It's Gayatri mantras. So we could see how important it is. And yeah, so Krishna loves the enthusiastic person, and I mean Krishna loves everybody, but he especially loves the enthusiastic person, and also the spiritual master. I mean, Prabhupada really loved devotees who were super enthusiastic and who were ready to, exert. Like for example, the Chaitanya Charitamrita marathon, right? The 17-book marathon. Of course, Rameshwar Prabhu, he said, "Oh, Prabhupada, the 17 books and too much, that's impossible." And then Prabhupada, put his cane in the sand and he said, "Impossible is a word in the fool's dictionary." So then Rameshwar Prabhu and the devotees, they started thinking about how it could be done. They stopped there on the morning walk in Venice Beach, and they fell behind the group and thinking about how it could be done. And they went to Prabhupada and said, "Oh, Prabhupada, we could do it, but we just need these conditions. We had to fly some devotees in. We can't do all the artwork. We could take some pictures of different Lord Chaitanya's pastime places. We could do it." Now, just imagine if Prabhupada said, "Impossible is a word in fool's dictionary," and Rameshwar just said, "Oh yeah, you're right, and I'm a fool, and we can't do it, and that's it," and then you just don't do it. Or just imagine all the devotees who are involved in the 17-book marathon. They just, "Oh well, actually we can't do it, and sorry, Prabhupada." No, but they did it because Prabhupada wanted, and they're enthusiastic. And Prabhupada he liked that very much. He was so happy, and he wrote a letter to the devotees. Right? He said that. Yeah, that anybody who is engaged in this has a ticket back to Godhead, practically, right? Yeah. So the more we could be in that mood, the better. And this is so Lord Shiva. The whole pastimes end in here. Daksha, Shiva, Virabhadra, Sati, and it all. So it's all ending here. So you could say goodbye to this pastime, unless you read it again on your own reading or think about it. But now we're going into the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest. And tomorrow we'll hear a class from Dravida Prabhu about brahmacharya, because in the purport Prabhupada talks about brahmacharya. So anybody who's interested in brahmacharya, you could come to the class tomorrow and remain in a brahmacharya or being a brahmacharya. It's not so easy to be a brahmacharya. Sometimes people think you just put on saffron cloth and you're a brahmacharya. but it's not so easy. Like you put on saffron cloth and all your material desires are going to go away. Well, I don't think so. Right? Or you read a few brahmachari shlokas. You read the brahmachari handbook and you put on saffron cloth. It's not so easy. It takes many years actually to, in most cases, to be a real brahmachari by definition. Which Dravida Prabhu is there's this interesting purport tomorrow. So does anyone have any questions or comments? Jai. All right. There's Gopashtami, which is the day that Srimati Radharani, she sneaks out, you could say, to the forest dressed as a cowherd boy. So today she has a nice turban and she's wearing a flute. I mean, she has a flute, 2 flutes. We can't. Anyways, there's some quotes that Prabhupada and the DD Ministries got these quotes from Prabhupada, said we can't show the feet. Well, generally we don't put pants because it won't work because her dress is the Murti is made in such a way where you actually can't put on pants. So what you do is you put on a dress, but you would tie it in such a way where it looks like pants. Like a dress in such a way that it would look like pants, and the feet would be showing. That's what we do previously. But now there's all these statements where Prabhupada apparently didn't want that. And in some ways that makes sense. I didn't see the quotations. I got it in an email, but I was so disturbed I didn't even read it, and I was joking. Now it makes sense though, because Prabhupada was quite conservative with Srimati Radharani. Like on Radhastami, Prabhupada wouldn't get into all these stories and Radhe Radhe and all these things. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that Prabhupada, because Prabhupada was really conservative, with Srimati Radharani. So, but anyways, it's a day where she goes out with Krishna and the cowherd boys and herds the calves, right, or the cows.
Where did Prabhupada get the idea that it's not a good idea to show Radharani's feet? Because in the cowherd village, all the women will show.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, you mean within the village, huh?
Everybody will be able to see the women's feet because everybody's walking around barefoot, right?
Yeah, because like Chaitanya, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wouldn't discuss the Radha Krishna's pastimes with, as everybody knows, with just anybody. He'd have a few devotees he would discuss, but in public it wasn't discussed. So it's kind of like in that it's in that mood where we don't want to make it too cheap, right? Anybody could see Radharani's feed and. Yes, that's true. Yeah. Rather than or Radhika.
I guess my understanding is it's okay for the Brajavasis because they're actually perhaps on that level. But for us, we don't need to go around taking our names deeply.
Yeah, and Prabhupada would always say Hare Krishna. They would say Radha. Prabhupada wasn't disturbed by them saying that. Prabhupada, I'm sure he's happy to see all of them, but they'd say Radhe Radhe, and he'd say Hare Krishna. Yeah. You have something, Jamal? You want to talk into that wonderful mic? So Madhusudana doesn't get mad at you?
Prabhu, he put it quite simply why Prabhupada had said no to displaying Radharani's lotus feet. And Rajendranarayana Prabhu had said, well, to be in the position of having the mercy of Radharani's lotus feet, it's such an exalted position. Like, we don't even know, we can't even comprehend what we just saw by seeing Radharani's lotus feet. So he was saying that's why Prabhupada said, put a cap on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite simple. But
All right, Jai.
Just by seeing money at all, you can't comprehend what you saw.
Yeah.
Let alone a feet.
There's a special there's a special mood though with the turban and Radharani and special Srimati Radharani. It's a special day. Lily Shakti. I always appreciated the Gopashtami. It always seemed like a sweet day. We will eventually. Yeah. No, not necessarily. In Mayapur, they have a big festival every year, and in Vrindavan, so we could have so many festivals more, start making up. Actually, when Prabhupada was in LA, devotees were having all these different festivals on Sundays, just random, not random, but Tamal Krishna Goswami wrote Prabhupada and said, we like to celebrate different festivals, so what's some ideas, Prabhupada? Prabhupada said, you could have a butter churning festival and relate that to Krishna's pastimes, and you could have a festival when Radha and Krishna are swinging on the swing, and all these different festivals you could have. So theoretically, we could have a festival every. Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, so hopefully one day we could have a Gopashtami festival. So.
Is there anyone to read about it?
Yeah, you could look it up.
It's not in the template, or is it? Why don't we just in that PowerPoint? In one of the Goswamis?
Yeah, you have to Google it.
Have you read the Dark Sea?
All right, Jai. Granta Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.